Do I get a trophy?
Hi, my name is Maddie. You probably want my essential facts, right? 34 ACT score, 4.0 GPA, captain of the speech and debate team, editor of the yearbook. I set the state record in cross country, built houses for Habitat for Humanity on the weekends, tutor inner city kids after school, created a non-profit organization that helps Mongolian children improve their fashion sense, and I set the state record in basketball for most points scored. Is that good? Good enough? Do I get a trophy? Because you see, I need that trophy. We all do, right? It sort of makes you wonder why we would all expect a trophy. It may have started on the YMCA soccer field. For me, I was on a team known as the Speed Demons, a group of energetic, enthusiastic, but no talent at all 5-year-olds. But it didn't matter if we, well, sucked. The secret? Everybody got a trophy. It was the wonderful YMCA philosophy. Everybody plays, everybody wins. And so I was perfectly happy with my bronze-colored plastic cup until I realized the truth. That if you're bad and you get a trophy, you're still bad. And so it wasn't long until I started counting every achievement and marking every success, which is why writers Neil Howe and William Strauss have deemed my generation the trophy generation. A group born between 1980 and 2001 that marked their lives, their futures, and their identities by ACT scores, GPAs, and even volunteer hours. My generation grew up differently than Generation X and the baby boomers before them. We've been exposed to technology since we were born and even consider ourselves world changers and problem solvers. But maybe it's time we start considering our own problems instead of trying to solve the world's. Today I'd like to pose 3 self-defining questions. Questions that maybe my generation should answer before filling out their next college application. I'd like to ask, number 1, is what we do who we are? Number 2, are we happy? And finally, where is the finish line? The first question I want my generation to consider is what we do who we are. Can I ask you a personal question? Do you Google yourself? Don't be embarrassed. It's common. According to a Microsoft study entitled 42% of people have Googled themselves, none have gone blind, most people Google themselves in order to find out how often they are referenced. Nowadays, if your name doesn't fill up at least 16 pages after a Google search, then you're obviously not very important, right? And so we become this walking Google search, or even a resume. And these resumes become our identities, and we start to see each other through these identities. So no longer is the girl sitting next to me in English class in person. She is Abby Baker, president of the National Honor Society, and the girl 1 class rank ahead of me. But is that all we are? A GPA, a class rank, an ACT score? I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of these accomplishments are flat out impressive. I mean, have you seen those genius extent freaks? What I'm asking is, are our accomplishments who we are? Am I my ACT score? And what does that mean when I fail? According to sociologist Kevin Cannon, my generation is marked by a fear of failure and risk, because failing to achieve means being a failure. But what if I were to take away this list of accomplishments? What if I were to take away all of these? What would my life look like? Would I still do every little thing on my to-do list? I know I'd still participate in forensics and school plays because those are things I'm passionate about. But would I strive to get the trophy or the lead, or would I just enjoy the time with my friends and family? I like to imagine that I could live in a world where what I do is not who I am. The second question I want my generation to consider is, are we happy? Like most of my friends, my life has become one giant to-do list. I wake up in the morning wondering if it's okay to check wake up in the morning off my list of things to do. I go through the day seeing everything as one more thing. Number 1, must finish English paper. Number 2, must write email to a friend and tell her I miss her. Number 3, must go to party. Number 4, must have a good time. And the thing is, in all of that craziness, I forget to ask myself, am I happy? According to Education Today, the most persistent pathological preoccupations amongst the trophy generation are schoolwork, homework, and tests and quizzes. According to Education Today, 16 and 19-year-olds have had their suicide rates increased by 32% in the past 10 years. Author of Supergirl, Speak Out, Liz Funk, states that young women in this society place a high premium on achieving and making overachieving look easy, but their brains and bodies can only handle so much. So why should I strive to be this Supergirl if that doesn't make me happy? Right now, I'm at a forensic showcase. I'm watching funny, talented people say funny, talented things. When I'm done here, I get to mingle with my friends and family, and what if I saw all of that as just one more thing to do? And what if I forgot to stop and ask myself, am I happy? I forgot to say, yes. And so, I want my generation to consider, number one, is what we do who we are. Number two, are we happy? And finally, where is the finish line? When I was younger, I used to run, bike, and swim my way through the Iron Kids Triathlon. Despite the fact that I could barely make it over the hills, I knew that as soon as I reached the balloon arch finish line, I would get my finishing medal and ribbon. Like a typical trophy generation kid, I was willing to work hard for a tangible payoff. But now, that payoff has become lost among all the strides toward perfection. Funk states that my generation has lost the finish line, because as soon as we reach the agreed endpoint, we push ourselves to go harder and longer. But maybe it's time we stop and ask, where's the finish line? When do I get to step underneath the balloon arch of this advanced placement-fueled academic achievements race? Because the truth is, I am tired, exhausted, fatigued, just plain worn out. And I know I'm not supposed to tell you that, because then why would you want me? But the truth is, it's time for us to stop asking, is this going to be on the test? And learn just to learn. Washington Post got it right when they said high school students need to start living high school, not worrying about college. My name is Matt. I am not my ACT score, which is, by the way, not a 34. I am not my GPA, a list of advanced placement classes, sports accomplishments, or even volunteer hours. I am 17 years old. I am acceptant of the fact that I will never, ever, ever score a point in a basketball game unless it's for the wrong team. But I am happy. And right now, I'm ready to accept contentment as my finish line. Thank you.